What I have here is an old CPU, a tower CPU. It's no longer working. I've just tested it. It's not displaying anything on the screen, although it is powering on. If I use the power cable here, it has a switch at the back. If I press the power button at the front, it is turning on, but it's not displaying anything on the screen. That's the loud fan. So the purpose of this video is to remove this computer power supply so that I can use it to power this car audio amplifier. But I'm going to do that later in another video. So please check the video description for that video. This live video is just meant to remove this computer power supply and maybe scrap everything else I can see here. I don't see any use of the other components inside here. This thing still has IDE connectors for the hard drives as well as DVD drives. I've already removed the floppy disk and threw that in my scrap metal heap. So after I remove this, I'm going to see what else I can throw in my scrap metal heap. I will still go with the motherboard and test it on another CPU that I have. But anyway, let me just get to business. Remove this power supply. So these power supplies are usually very good because they provide 12 volts. If we read here, you can see different voltages, plus 3.3, plus 5 volts, plus 12 volts, which is what the car audio uses. This one produces 13 amps, which is enough for mid-range, and as subwoofer at moderate volume, it's definitely enough. The other voltages are minus 5, minus 12, plus 5 at 2 amps. I have my screwdriver. Let's get to removing. I first of all need to remove this amplifier from the table. This is the jack 3245 MOSFET power amplifier. I think before I remove it, I would have tested the voltages first. Normally, the black cable is usually the ground, and the yellow cable is usually the 12 volts. So let's start with yellow. It indeed is working. We have 12 volts, and the red one is usually 5 volts. And there we have 5 volts. So the power supply is indeed working. This thing doesn't even have a HDMI port for the display. But it's good because it actually has an AC power switch here. Now remove all the connectors. There are usually 2 connectors to the motherboard. That is one, and there is another bigger one here. And any other connectors to the other things, including the hard drives, the DVD player I've just removed. This thing does not have a floppy disk. I believe everything is off. I don't know if it will fit through this tiny gap. Of course it will. There we have it. That is the power supply. After I'm done with this live, I'm just going to open it up. I can see roaches here. I'm just going to open it up and clean it thoroughly. My goodness. No wonder the owner threw this thing away. It indeed has some roaches inside. I'm now afraid of leaving this thing in the house. I think I'm just going to return it to the balcony where it has been lying for the past few months. I will also take the hard drive. I will test it later with another CPU. This is just 160 GB. And the other CPU I'm talking about is the CPU that I started with, the one I started editing and uploading videos to YouTube. It's a small HP micro tower. That's the Western Digital 160 GB. Very dusty. This thing has been out, like I said before. And finally, to show the face, that's how it looks like. It was held together by insulating tape. To modify this power supply so that it can power this car audio amplifier, please check the video description for that video. That's it. My name is Dominic. Let's meet in the next video. Subscribe if you haven't, and goodbye.